All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Monday, January 6th, 2025. If you've not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You can find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Some of you guys were asking about the course updates from last week, and that is live today. That's going to be, and you can use promo code course 25, and so we have some fresh new updates on that. The essentials course, it's just pure TA, and you can use promo code course 25 to get 40% off. And for those of you who have already purchased it, you'll get those updates for free. They are live right now. That'll be available through the 17th. So that's live right now. Go ahead and check that out. Good time for that. Anyway, let's get into it here today. So starting off the year really nice. Speaking of trades, in the trading room here, closed out 102 points on our ES runner today, right into resistance. And we had a few members actually short up at the highs too. And so nice double-sided trade. I personally don't like doing that after I have a big winner. I usually like to just kind of step aside and just kind of let it, let the tape, sit on the sidelines for a little bit. But either way, we got all the way up to 60-20, and a lot of people, I see you guys, I'm not the only one who analyzes GEX, but I love our proprietary methods of analyzing dealer. We don't just look at GEX, we look at a lot of other dealer positions, and a lot of people tried to short 6,000, and they were unsuccessful for the first half of the day. And, I called this out right away. I said, guys, we might go to 60-25, and we did. We got up to 60-21 before we finally rolled over. So the real level that ended up kind of holding was 600 on the SPY as opposed to 6K on SPX. But nonetheless, really good job here off the lows. And again, like I said on Friday, this is why you just scale out of positions. We get the gap up, we still make money, but if they gapped us down, we'd have no risk. And, we did pretty good either way. Now, we did come nicely off the lows. We had a little glide down into some support. You can see it on the ES here. We glided down into kind of this little pre-market pivot, and then we bit off that pretty nicely. You can see volatility came in pretty good right at the end of the day. But definitely a good little fade, and they kind of closed it. It's like they left the door open here. You can see our ES trend line that I've been following here. I'm just going to call that hit. We'll just say it got hit. It didn't quite get there per se, but it got close enough. I'm going to call that a hit. I'm not going to move it because I don't want to change it. But you can see it there on SPX too. We just kind of pierced through it, and which we did last time as well. If we look at the SPY, I don't have it drawn up there, but you guys get the idea. But they kind of left the door open, didn't they? Right, we backed off the highs, but they also gave us a nice pop into the close, and they slammed volatility pretty good. They did back off the Russell and the Dow. Dow finishing fractionally flat on the day. The Russell did finish up. It was a laggard by the end of the day, but remember, this was also up when the market was down earlier, or I should say at the end of the year / the first 2 days of the year. So the Russell did outperform on the way down, or you should say with the initial bounce, and now this Qs are outperforming on the way up. Again, Qs outperforming is good. I'm going to give the bulls a little bit more of a bias here for one reason. It's a reason I stress all the time, as you guys know, and that's SMH up 3 1/3. And this held the gains throughout the day. Yeah, we finished off the highs, but we just gapped right up into these pivots. We just busted out of this range here. Like, that's a huge range break. And unless we slam hard tomorrow and reverse all of this, I'm just going to say that SMH is telling us to give the bulls the bias here. I'd be very careful, like getting too bullish or too bearish on either side here until we get either up, above this 600 handle, which could take a few days of consolidation. Remember, the market is closed Thursday. I think the futures are open, from what I understand, because I do think jobless claims are going to be on. Let me just double check. I just want to double check it again. I noticed I got two calendars here. The one is a little bit more accurate because I think they announced this holiday kind of late too, so. Yeah, so that's, I think so they're still going to have the jobless claims and all that stuff on Thursday from what I can see. And we have a 30-year auction. So this future should be open. It's going to be real thin. I wouldn't make too much out of the action unless we get a huge move. But either way, yeah, until we range break either, we range break up from here, we're going to new all-time highs. You guys, I've said that for 3 weeks. We get above this area, it's new all-time highs. Right now, you'd probably want to see like 59, bulls would want to see 59.50 hold, on a closing basis here. But right now, you're above the 50 moving average. There is a little bit of a time count right here, and it's kind of like set up to trigger tomorrow. So we'll see how this shakes out. It could be a nothing burger, but I'm just mentioning that because I would say tomorrow's pretty important. Bulls want to see right now just range and basing here. We're not going to just shoot through this. Like, it's just not going to happen. Unless, well, it's funny. I said we weren't going to shoot through 6,000 today, but we kind of did for a little bit. So we'll see. Look at that. They closed this exactly halfway between 59.50 and 6K today. Look at that. So, like, they left this door wide open here. But I'm going to give the bulls just the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because the trend is up. Weekly trend is up. We held the 20 weekly. There's no damage here whatsoever. The NASDAQ and the semis have led. So that's why I'm going to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, that's it right now. So we'll see. I still think VIX wants to test 15 by possibly the 8th, which is Wednesday. It does look like things open up a little bit more for specifically the Russell later in the week, dealer-wise. And by that, I mean like towards 230. So they were defending 225. They've been defending 225 here. We did make higher highs. But I think this is just trying to consolidate right now. So we'll see about that. Dow here also, again, still got that kind of cap there at 430. What is it, 434? I still think this can get up and retest that trend line, though. The Qs, again, it's like close it right on, like, this is what I mean when I say they left the door open. They closed it right on there. And you look at, though, we closed back above the 20 DMA, though. Another thing I can show you, too, this is why part of the reason I actually didn't see this until over the weekend, but this really kind of adds to the bull case to me. I don't have this on Thinkorswim, but see this here? This is percent of stocks above the 20 DMA. It's very, like, it's in the basement, right? Last time, we got these lows, April, we had it right here before a major bottom, and then right there again, a major bottom. It's pretty good. Even in bear markets, it was good for finding bounce levels. So when everybody was worried about the breadth, yes, at the highs, it can be a signal, but a lot of the time it's contrarian bullish when you're already down. So something to keep an eye on there. So we reclaimed those levels. Semi's leading. I'm just going to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt here. I know I had some members that did take the short right up into that 600 SPY area. I just said, hey, just close. Make sure you trim into the end of the day, because the way that I think this will work, if they're going to break it out, it's just going to gap up. Like, they're just going to trap everyone. It's usually how they do it, right? Especially lately in the last year here. They love killing those ODTE players. They make you hold the risk into the overnight. So that's what we're looking at here. SMH here up 3 1/3. I told you guys when video's going to 250 or 150. And a part of the reason why I'm still bullish here is I'm seeing more interest come up at 160 and even at 270 on SMH. This is not necessarily right away, but it's in the near distant future. So I still like semis, and well, you guys know when I like the semis, I don't get bearish. IGV up 21 cents. So a little spike of the head and shoulders and a failure. Transports also had a decent day. They got to our 16.2 finally. They did come in off the highs, but still not bad. A little kind of W pattern there. We'll see if it can break through that. 16.6 would be your retrace target after that. Interest rates, again, this is the focal point. And I'm getting kind of like little bearish yields, honestly, in the near term. And you can see the yield curve normalizing here. Look at the 2s, 5s, down. Still good shape there, though, for the 5s. There's nothing wrong with that. So I wouldn't say I'm bearish, but I think we're closer to a pivot high in yields than we are to a pivot low by far. I'll say that. 30s So again, long end widening out, getting stronger, and the short end coming in. So it's normalizing. That does say to me stagflation, but the market doesn't have to care until it wants to. Just so you know. The dollar coming in very sharply today. I think that's helping out risk assets, also helping out gold. This looks really top heavy. I'm seeing a lot of posts that are indicating heavy long dollar positioning. I think people are heavily long yields too. And we have jobs this week, JOLTS tomorrow, right? If we get any data that is slightly cool economically, it doesn't even have to be super hot or super cold. It could just be like not as hot as expected. I think yields could, they're in a position where they could get reversed pretty quickly because everybody's expecting inflation, high inflationary data now. That's just my general bias here. So I'm not taking a trade based off that, but that's just kind of my general lean. Say like, 475. Let's just take a fib here on the 10s. Yeah, so right around 475, 472 to 786 and the double top there. So maybe we got to get there before we see any back off, but I think we're close to a pivot high than a low. XHB was up earlier, it came back in as yields kind of held up. I still think this is, I'm going to give this the upside bias right now. This looks a lot like KRE did the other day or the other week where it had that nice liquidity grab. So it has that kind of look like it wants to, go up before it wants to try and go back down. It's still got resistance up at 110, 111. Levels are not changed there. VNQ down 1.25. This is starting to look a little bit weaker. Definitely a lot weaker. So I don't like VNQ here. It still has plenty of time to firm up. I don't think that this is really like in any danger of breaking down yet, but definitely not a good chart right now, relatively speaking. XLF, again, still in our area, right? So still below 49.30. We got up to 49.02. If we can break through that, I would just say 49. We break through 49, it's going to go up, right? I don't think the 30 cents will be of much consequence there. KRE, again, finishing green, like we mentioned. So did KBE. And broker-dealers here, higher highs now confirmed there. So Finn's kind of hanging in there, mixed bag. Oil here finally put in a pivot. So we talked about 75 to 76 being some resistance. It did back off there down 60 cents, but it's had a nice range break here. And it's held the 200 moving average for now. So say like on the downside, you want to at least hold this 71 to 72 area. So now we have something to go off of here. I've just been kind of like skimming through crude lately. Like I have a general upside bias, but now we have a pivot to go off. We have a breakout. We have a pivot. So now we know where to look for a possible higher low. So we'll just keep that on the back burner for now. XLE again finished down. It did gap higher. Again, we can see it here when you see XOP, but we went into this pivot. We backed off of that. It's had a nice move off the lows. And there's XOP going right into that little former bear flag. So reversal there. But now there's room for higher lows, right? We've had enough of a move off the low that we can get a higher low. Or we could flag here and then go up. OIH managing to finish fractionally higher. Again, 50 MA test, retesting the bear flag. Same look. Okay, pulling back on pretty light volume too. So yeah, that's not bad. CCJ with a nice pop, up 3%. It did come off the highs, but that's looking pretty good. URNM, again, finishing up fractionally. Again, testing these old pivots, backing off there. It's doing standard level-to-level action. NJ, same thing. Nat gas had a huge pop again today on colder than expected weather. Up 10 and a quarter. Yeah, it didn't get to the 225, did it? That would have been nice, right? Or sorry, 325. But good action there. It's like leaving a lot of gaps, but we'll see. Now can the bears come in and put in a lower high? Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, you got a 50% fib here. I'm going to give it the upside bias to the 618. So 387. Just be aware, there's a crap load of trapped longs up here. So anyway, dollar, we mentioned a minute ago. Very good distribution candle. It did hold the 20 DMA though. So it didn't really do any damage, but definitely a good sell. That looked like a little blow-off-esque. In fact, I actually talked about that On Thursday, I said this looks like a little blow off-ish, and we went up right up into that 618, backed off. So we'll watch here for a pattern. But yeah, back below 108, probably looking at retesting 107. So that's going to be good for gold. Still didn't finish up today. I don't know if this is just beginning of the year kind of flow or whatnot, but we did, back off a little bit there on gold. I haven't looked at GDX in a while, but I like how it retested this. I mean, look at this beautiful. That's a clean retest right there. Silver was green though, so silver again. This to me says that the investors are expecting more like heated economy, right? That silver is outperforming. Maybe a little bit risk on ish too, but you can see if we get above that, you got the falling wedge there, and if that breaks, I mean this can get explosive fast. Palladium flat here, and right hammering on that trend line again, and then sorry, that's platinum. Palladium here flat. Range is tightening though. Starting to watch that one a little bit more closely, and then copper. I told you guys I was going to do this. Not that I was taking a trade on it, but I knew like you just had this feeling like they were going to break this, and it wasn't going to follow through. With the volume there too. So if we get above this trend line, copper could get explosive too. Weekly still got a fat bear inside bar though. One other point here for the bulls, I'll say also is crypto is up. So Bitcoin back above 105K. Or sorry, 101K, got to 100,500. Now it's at 101.8. Yeah, looks all right. I mean, I don't really see any issues here with in the crypto space. Solana up nicely. So some of these are doing good. Yeah, you guys know the levels, right? I mean, like we had a little bit of maybe short-term trap longs right up here. I haven't really looked at IBIT levels right now as far as dealer positioning, but I would just say, 115 is still probably a level. But again, crypto strong, semi strong. I got to give bulls the benefit of the doubt here. But, this is where the bears need to step up. So, the futures here, they're hanging in there. Yeah, we got a nice little pop on the futures. A nice little outside move there at the end of the day, vol coming in. I do think the VIX gets supported at 15. But we'll see about that afterwards. So again, you guys know the levels and the areas. So anyway, I guess I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. You can email me at aaron.carnivoretrades.com if you have any questions about the course special. That'll be until the 17th. You guys take care. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.